In tonight's episode, Kate invents a new dance, Patrick helps you,
Fill in the blank.
and
Fill in the blank.
we exchange war stories,
Good. I play Rambo. It's like a double shot.
Oh, you mean like the arcade?
and this...
What is up? Welcome to episode 2 of A Glitch TV. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick Dees, and I'm joined by the lovely and talented Kate Elliott.
Hey.
She hates it when I do that. She hates it. You always give me that look like you're neither one of those things, and I kind of
awkward. It's just weird.
I'll get more awkward. Stay tuned to episode 3 where I get even more awkward with the intro, because that's happening. So yeah, welcome to a very superhero-centric episode of Glitch TV. If you're new to the show, which we're still new, welcome back. If you haven't seen episode 1, we'd encourage you to check that out. But for people who are just tuning in, why are we here?
We are here to talk about all of the TV shows, all of the content that we can consume without cable television, because most of us don't have cable anymore. A lot of us don't even own televisions.
Nope.
This particular space has a projector and no TV, so this is the future. So these are all of the things that we get to watch on the internet for free, without subscription. It's really, really great, and we're going to cover what we like, what we don't like, then we're going to discuss with you what we're into and what we're going to look forward to next week. So.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the show is that ultimately we get to discuss with the audience. This past week we got a lot of comments on our socks. I chose some very colorful socks last time. I not as colorful, but if you'd like to chime in as what color socks I should be wearing, I'd be really interested.
I just wanted to join the sock club. So.
You did? I think you're killing it.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know what that face was like.
So how was your week this week? I mean, I don't know.
It was great.
Okay.
I worked a lot, actually. 12-hour days. Unfortunately, that's what it's like in Hollywood if you work in the industry. You spend half the day at work. At the office or on set, doesn't matter.
It's like a humble brag. You know, if you're in Hollywood.
If you're in your house.
And you're working.
I came from England, okay?
She's neither
That's
lovely or
you.
talented, and she just works in Hollywood. Blah, blah, blah.
What did you
Busy
do?
though.
What did you do?
I actually I watched a whole lot of shows that were not on regular cable television, which we're going to talk about. I played a lot of The Witcher 3. Have you played this? Heard about this?
I haven't.
Unfucking believable. It is an unbelievable game. So I know we're not here to talk about video games, but between episodes of things you catch on Crackle, PlayStation Network, Netflix, highly encourage people out there to pick up a copy of Witcher 3. It is early front runner for Game of the Year, I think, at this point.
Very nice.
So good. So are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Oh my god.
All right, okay. So yes, like an enthusiastic 10 out of 10, yes. It's that of like RPGs. So like, I don't know, if you played BioWare's Dragon Age, it feels a little bit like baby's first RPG, right? It's a little bit like, I don't know, more like Tolkien-esque. This is very much like the Game of Thrones, this unsanitized fantasy.
Sounds great.
Unbelievably cool. So highly recommend it.
I'm in.
But that's not why we're here. We're not here talking video games. Although at some point I want to talk about this video games. We're here to talk about a lot of shows that you couldn't find on cable television otherwise. So let's jump right into it and take a look at what we're looking at this week. So this week, Powers on the PlayStation Network was picked up for a second season. Today we're talking about episode 2. We talked at length about episode 1 last week. Kate, what did you think about, coming off of episode 1? What were your kind of hopes coming into episode 2?
I truly, truly wanted to see Retro Girl. Because they hyped her up so much in the first episode that I wanted to know what was going on there. I wanted to know more about the wannabes too. I want to know what their deal is.
Yep.
If it actually works. If becoming a super power from being a wannabe actually happens. That was something I was looking forward to finding out.
So I had a lot of hopes coming into episode 2. I thought, the pilot, you can argue about the intention of a pilot a million different ways, right? Like it's to set up a ton of exposition, to kind of establish tone, build a world. I had a lot of hopes coming into this second episode, and I don't know how I felt overall. How are you feeling about episode 2?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
The one thing I've learned about Powers is that it's kind of a slow start, so I'm going to give it several episodes to really lead in, but I hear it's going to get pretty intense. So I'm just
better person than I am. I don't know. I had such a hard time with this. Like, this one was called Like a Power, which was a ridiculous episode title. I'm sorry. It should have been called Here and Gone, which is Johnny Royale's catchphrase. There's some things that I really liked about it, and a lot I didn't like about it. I want to start off by saying Diamond and his partner, or whatever his actual name is, that Diamond is partner, there's like zero chemistry between them. I mean, Adam, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was their chemistry?
I mean, I don't think. What kind of chemistry are you hoping for them to have?
I don't know. I don't even mean like rookie cop, grizzled
'Cause he
veteran
hates
cop.
her.
I agree. I mean like actor to actor. It's like these people don't like each other, and there's just no. It's not believable.
That's fair.
I will say though, your hope was fulfilled early on in this episode. We saw Retro Girl.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
I was excited. I'm a little concerned for her mental stability though, because of all she's just everything is white and red in her life, and it's like, okay, I know you want to be branded, but you may have some issues you need to deal with.
She's very focused. She's very on brand.
Focused,
you know, I can appreciate that. She knows what she knows her audience. I can appreciate it. I thought she was rad, and I thought she was.
Did you say rad or red?
Yes, she's rad and she's red. But I thought the rest of the show to some degree feels like a Saturday Night Live parody of a comic book show. It just does. It's overacted or it's underacted, and like she was this bastion of like great acting, and she seemed believable. Her performance was great.
She's genuinely, she is.
She right, mm-hmm. And there was a great. Now you talk about a chemistry like. She's one person who's having a hard time even relating to Diamond in this post-Powers world, whereas the guy who had powers and then he didn't. And I think it was interesting to see her kind of like genuinely struggle with like how do I even have a dialogue? Clearly they were romantically involved, and it's awkward. But on top of that, like anytime like you've seen your ex, right? Like you see your ex, and it's like
It would be like if you were both big TV and movie buffs and then someone just quit technology. It's like, I don't even know how to have a conversation with you right now.
Yeah, like we live in totally different worlds.
Yeah.
I'm still like, this mega superstar. That's a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. Like you're just like, I'm still an A-list celebrity and you're kind of a D-list and you're not allowed into the party, and I don't know.
Painful. Oh.
It was awkward. I thought there was zero chemistry between them. I dug, though, the one thing that I thought did work in this episode was the whole Johnny Royale.
I love this character, and he plays it so well.
He's cool.
It so well.
So the scene when he flashes into the station and he registers his powers and ultimately is setting Diamond up. Again, it's a great setup, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes, because this guy, he is seriously ramping up his game now. He's not fooling around. He was kind of, in the beginning, you're like, okay, this is someone we need to pay attention to. And now it's like, oh, we need to keep a close eye on this guy.
Well, it's just clear that he's got, like, bigger plans, right? Like, it's like, I think that was interesting, because at the beginning you just get, again, it's all world building. It's all like, hey, here's this universe. It was far too much exposition. But, like, it's clear that this guy's got a vision for something. I think the whole setting up this dance club for wannabes either is cliche or lame, or I'm not sure yet. I'm
scared.
It could be really bad. I don't know.
I think it's going to be bad for the characters in there. I think bad stuff's going to happen to them. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him.
But one thing I think that we talked a little bit about last week, and this episode did a fantastic job, and why I'm really, like, again, cautiously optimistic about the future, would be the whole Crispin subplot. So Crispin's dad died in the first 36 seconds of episode 1, which is not funny, but it's totally funny. It's totally funny.
He sounds like a chocolatey treat.
Did you say Christian or Crispin?
Crispin.
I had to look it up. I was like, no, I did. Because I wasn't 100% sure like what they were actually even saying. It is Crispin, for those people at home, for those following along. This is also a new drinking game. Every time we say Crispin, we're inviting people at home to take a shot.
Don't do it. You're going to be wasted.
Annihilated. But that was cool. So I kind of dug that whole. They did a lot of montages of him pining to be a superhero.
I mean,
or
that's always
going
to be the making of either a superhero or a supervillain. And I'm putting money that this kid is going to turn bad. Because he's so brokenhearted. I have a feeling that he is going to acquire some powers through some dastardly way, and then he's just going to seek revenge on everyone.
That's really interesting, because he tells Diamond at the very beginning that he's not a power, that he's a hero. So, like, I actually thought it might swing the other way, that he end up being a good guy. But
$5. Let's see which way it goes.
I'll bet you $5 in a shot. All right. I'm going to up your game with alcohol. I think, but like, so we'll have to see. But I think that is what's keeping me going in the show, is that theme of, I think everybody to some degree, and not just millennials and not just these teenagers, but like everybody on some level can identify with wanting and yearning to be something more. And I think that's what the show really hits on. I think it's missing on a lot of this, the powers, but this celebrity culture. And like, we come from a generation where like there's a sense of entitlement, right?
Participation awards.
Right?
That kind of ruined us a little bit.
And a lot
you
of
either
people-
win or lose. We need to teach that to kids early.
Yep.
Not just you're all special. It's like, yeah, you are, but also work hard and earn
But also,
it.
you're not. You know, there's this
Everyone's unique. Wait, what?
Yeah, it was his amazing speech at the end of the first episode. It was like, no, you're just like everybody else. You're boring as hell.
Oh,
you might as well jump. I think that's what he should have said.
It's like, no, it's not.
And so like I think that I hope it pays off.
Yeah.
But that whole wanting to be something, because I think again, like a lot of our generation, like feels like they deserve to be famous, and it's touching on a lot of that. And I think the parallel of superheroes as celebrities. Again, there's some powerful things at play. I think I can understand how this graphic novel, if you will, resonates with a lot of people. I'm not sure the show's doing it for me at this point, but it's got me to the point where, like, just like we talked about in episode 1, it was interesting, and then the last 60 seconds were unbelievable. So what happens?
Really, sorry, the show is so good at hooks. It's really
right.
Yeah.
Again, the same thing. I was like, 3/4 of the way through it, I'm like, okay, I kind of get what it's doing, and at the very end. Johnny freaking Royale shows up at his apartment. It says, hey, I'm not going to hurt you. This super like passive aggressive threat. Does that old tie switch thing. And then he pulls the trigger at him and he's gone. Super cool way to end it and instantly made me want to watch the next one.
That makes good TV right there.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
Again, so like I'm giving this a passing grade at this point.
It's like, yeah, over here and here I'm like, next.
Yeah, all right.
Let's do it.
All right, so let us know what you thought of episode 2. Again, we're cautiously optimistic about episode 3, and we'll be back to talk about it.
And which way do you think Crispin's going to go? The chocolatey treat, good or bad?
It's good. It's good. This week we're talking about the Crackle original series, Chosen. This is season 1, episode 2. This is a show that neither of us knew about before last week.
Yeah.
We came in last week, had no idea what it was going to be, what it was about. We watched episode 1. We couldn't wait to episode 2. We just came off watching episode 2. Kate, lay it on me. What'd you think?
It was such a strange... It's still creeping me out. I'm still engaged. But nothing happened.
Nope. Nothing
happened in the second episode. So what we learn is that his mark also has a mark. So my question is, are these marks going in a circle where they're all going to top each other? Or is it like the Hunger Games where we're trying to get the ultimate survivor, the ultimate hunter? I want to know what's going on.
Definitely, it's the Hunger Games. I'm 100% sure it's the Hunger Games. Yep, definitely. That's what they're
Last
going
one
for.
standing gets a job at the FBI.
Did you like this episode?
I did. It was creepy enough. I was surprised.
It was creepy enough.
It was
5 out of 8 creeps.
I have problems with paranoia
kind of
when you're living alone, so that's what I kind of touched on last week. Is when you live alone, you get paranoid every now and then. It just happens when something moves in your house, you don't remember moving, or something appears, you don't remember putting there. You're like, ah! And that happens a lot in this TV show. Like, we start right off, and he gets a DVD in his office, and he texts his ex-wife, and he's like, "Thanks for the DVD of my kid playing football." And she's like, "I love DVD," and you're like, "Oh shit! Oh my god, something's happening."
So for people at home, when she says football, she means soccer, but she's from across the pond.
Well, it's a ball.
It's a ball, and you can. No, look, I understand that the naming convention of football means way more sense. I'm with you. I'm just saying.
I don't think American football should even be called rugby. It should be called hand egg.
No, they were. She was not playing hand egg. She was playing this version of glob ball soccer, where all of the 6-year-olds just follow the ball everywhere. You can't even see it. I wanted to say like, thanks for the DVD. Our kid sucks. It wasn't very. First of all, that whole setup was super lame. So he gets handed a new phone, right? You saw the phone, which is this, beautiful brand new Sony phone. And there's that whole setup about, he blows his mind that GPS can find him anywhere. And then the other thing was the Watchers conveniently send him a calendar alert that says, "Please kill that dude." And that alert pops up and I'm like, so lame. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think the writing, at least to this point, is just terrible, and it's underscored by wooden and laconic performances. And it was all that scene between he and his secretary is a microcosm for all of the really rigid. I think it's stylized and cool. I like the jump cuts, and I really like the palette. But that to me, when I was watching this, was I don't. Okay, kill the dude alarm on your phone. It made me want to do that as a practical joke. I really want to leave here. I want that alarm to go off for you tomorrow, at your work.
Don't do that to
And it's just sitting on your desk and coworkers walk by and like, Kate, your alarm to kill that dude is going off. I think that would be... I don't know. We had this, so, I don't know. The other thing that was kind of interesting, and I'll say this, this is a safe space, right? It's you and me and the internet. I got so excited by the last like 36 seconds of the episode. I went ahead and watched episode 3. I've already seen it. I couldn't wait. It was
insane.
I know.
I'm forcing myself to wait, but oh my god,
I have no self-control. Yeah, so the guy runs at the very end of the episode, like he sits with his dentist, his mark in the cafe. Nothing interesting happens.
They discuss back and forth, like, if you kill me, it's not gonna hurt me. I'll be dead. But look at my cute, adorable family. It's gonna be so sad. I'm dead.
Also,
by the way, I'm probably gonna go kill this lady I have to kill, who probably has a family, and she was.
He's super gonna kill her.
He's so good.
She's soup's dead. She's soup's dead. Yeah. But no, like also that was a little bit jarring, and I know. None of these things are going to age that well, but this was 2012, 2013, right? Like preconceived 2011, shot 2012. He holds up like photos, like old ass, like in my wallet, glossy photos. And it was like, I really just would have preferred that. Here's my wife, here's my kids.
No. I still, well, maybe I'm just
No,
old
you don't. I will call you this.
I
You
have
have
photos in
bring
my
it
wallet.
out. Let's show the audience.
I have photos on my wall.
No, she does not. Yeah, on her wall, right? Yeah, No, then that's fine. I'm saying, but like, you don't run around with like legit old.
If I'm gonna get killed, I'm gonna walk around with my photos because I'm gonna look at all the people I'm gonna miss. look at my friends. Look at my friends. I'm gonna be so sad that you killed me.
Your glamour shot from junior high with the lasers in the background. Perfect. No, I thought that was cool. No, I didn't. I didn't think. I thought that was super lame. It was a great strategy, though. I admire his play. Like, look, dude, don't
go for the sympathy vote. If you're gonna get murdered, either try the no mercy, I am not going to bow down to you, or the please don't kill me, please, I have so much to live for, look at my family.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what most people would go to if you're gonna get killed. It's like, no, what about everyone I love?
And it worked. That was actually a good performance. And the dentist, I bought it. Like, I get it. He's super concerned about his wife and kids. This is who's actually getting impacted. And then it ends with him walking out of the diner. The guy puts on the ski mask, runs out with a gun, and the silencer. You like it all gangsta. He didn't do it like that, but that would have been even more.
This is a threat. This is a kill shot.
Stupid plan. Like in the middle of downtown LA, he just like walks onto the street. Like
he's a silencer, though. I mean,
it doesn't mean like there's cameras everywhere. It's just important. Like I feel like you would be a way better killer. So watchers, if you're watching. She should get a package on her door this week. She'd be super good at the game, and then it would make for the show to be way more interesting.
But I don't want to do that.
But like this show would be way more interesting. Like for us talking on Glitch TV, like for us to, I could come back next week and be like, so what's it like to actually have a box and be killing somebody? She gets a picture of a goofy redhead with like weird socks, and she's like, I don't know what box. Anyway, that was episode 2. Again, I want to denigrate the show a lot, and then what I do, I watch episode 3 like immediately, and I will say, sneak peek, episode 3, a lot of stuff, shit goes sideways in episode 3. So like, I think there's stuff to look forward to here a little bit. Yeah, you should be, because I think it becomes more high stakes bingo in episode 3, and at least it made me glad that I've kept with it. And again, this is a great example of things that you can find. Content that's out there that you might not have otherwise known. This is a Crackle original. There's zero cost of picking this up, so I thought it was a good find at this point. And I'm, I don't know. We got 4 seasons of this. And the one thing I will say was like, it'd be interesting because like you see him and like obviously he's got his hair slicked back. He looks like Pat Riley in the '80s, the guy that coached the Lakers for sports fans.
He looks like he's just lost his mind.
But he's like to
be fair though, if you're told, okay, so this is a question I want to bring up.
Oh, please.
If you were given the box and you had to kill someone, most of us I think would question it and want to go talk to the person and try and find out what's going on. But the problem with that is you get to know the person that you're probably going to have to murder, and that's psychologically going to damage you.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how many people deserve that. I think a lot of people should probably get whacked. I'm okay with it. I'd be fine. Like, I'm just saying, like, most people are terrible. I get a lot of run on the internet for, like, they're like, oh, Patrick likes liking things. No, I think people are terrible. I like this premise. No.
You're the kind of person that says we need another plague, aren't you?
Yeah, sure. I'm that. I'll lean into the villain role on the show. I'm all right with that. Okay, you're clearly the better human being of the two of us.
You just said I'd be good at killing people.
I think you'd be good. You're effective. This is no moral or ethical evaluation. You should be really good at pulling a trigger and like hard to steal.
I'm really, really good at the first-person shooters at arcades. I'm not gonna lie.
What's your favorite?
There's a lot. I love the Jurassic Park shooter, but I'm really, really good. I played Rambo. It's like a double shotgun.
Oh, you mean like the arcades, the light guns,
like holding the gun. I'm really good at those.
Perfect.
So, yeah,
and those skills totally translate.
Yeah,
I think that's how they chose that guy. That guy's like super good at like the time travel game, the Time Splitters arcade game.
Goodness.
I'm pretty sure that happens in episode 3. So, anyway, what did you think? Let us know. Are you going to continue watching? We certainly are. We'll come back next week, talk about episode 3. I guarantee there'll be a lot more to talk about, and I'm pretty excited. Marvel's Daredevil, episode number 1, Into the Ring, started off incredibly strong. She's already laughing at me. I get excited about this.
I wasn't laughing at you. I just pulled a really weird face because I'm so excited for this show.
No, it's awesome. Into the Ring was really strong. That first episode, the second one, which is called Cut Man, was the episode where I tell all of my friends, look, if you're not on board after watching this episode, stop. Just don't watch this anymore because this is what the show is all about. I think this sets the tone for the rest of the season. Again, I'm finished this out. So the spoiler-free conversation about only episode 2. So I'm not going to talk about the rest of the season.
I'm with you guys. I've only seen episode 2.
Which I'm glad that somebody is. No self-restraint. I could not binge watch this show. It's the moment this episode I've been most excited to talk about would be Daredevil. So give me your general impressions. Like, what did you think? Like, how was this for you?
So this episode is really important to me and pretty much the whole Daredevil universe because this is where his dad dies, and that's a big part of Daredevil's life, that his dad gets murdered for not fulfilling a gambling agreement that he had with some dudes, for losing in his game. He was like, no, I don't want to lose this big fight I have. I need to win because my son believes in me, and I can also put some money aside for him later when I'm not going to be here anymore, because that's going to happen, obviously, when you get involved with these people. And then also, at the end, we get that magical one-shot fight scene. I don't know if it's fluidly one-shot, but it's made to look like a single shot, and it is just so impressive. I love it so much. Anything you're doing, it's one of those moments where you're eating dinner, watching TV, and then you're like,
oh my God, they haven't cut yet. Wait, what? They have it? He's still going? He's still punching. He's still punching people. Yeah,
and it's great. He's still so human because he's exhausted and falling sideways. And he's like, oh my God. And then he picks it up again.
No, and I think that was interesting. Was like, I think that his father's setting up that, look, we Murdochs continue to get up when we're knocked down.
Not how you fall, it's how you get up.
And it's not, I don't think anything in that sentiment is unique or original in the Heroes verse, but it played really well to this last scene because ostensibly, Matt walks into the lion's den, if you will. Like, he's going to save this kid. Yeah. He knows it's going to be a messed up situation. Yep. And this episode starts with him already in a very bad place. Like, we start this episode with him in a dumpster.
He's cut up. He has broken ribs. One of his lungs collapses. And then later that night, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go kill some dudes with my bare hands. It's totally fine. I'll be good.
So it's so good.
It's amazing.
It's so good. And this episode does a lot, right? Like, so we meet Claire this episode, who plays a huge role the rest of this season. She was so great. Rosario Dawson.
She is so beautiful.
I can't say that.
Great job.
Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Thank you. I'm just gonna point. Just every time I point, you do a shot, and she'll say Rosario Dawson. She was great, right? Like,
she was so fantastic in this role. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. She did an amazing job. This is, again, one of these TV shows you forget you're watching acting. You get so into it, you are just believing in the characters. It's just, it's so amazing. I'm all over the place with this segment.
Because you're animated, right? Like, so
excited.
Taking a step back, I think this is one of those things that, like, we talk about the Marvel universe, and one of those things that, like, some things are hit and miss for me. A lot of them are a little bit too campy, but I think this is one of those things that, like, if somebody came to you and said, hey, Kate, what differentiates this show from the rest of the Marvel universe? I would ask you to point back to him asking you, and then I'm giving you the answer. I'm saying, like, point back to this rooftop scene where he literally takes an ice pick, is interrogating somebody by digging into his ocular cavity.
Through Claire's instruction as a nurse, this won't kill him, but it will hurt like hell.
And then throws his ass off the roof. And if you're wondering what's different about this show, that's that. It's that in a heartbeat. And again,
it's gritty.
It is. But, like, again, we talked about it last week, but it's not unnecessarily violent.
No, it's exactly where it needs to be. Really, for this story, I love the Daredevil story. This is probably the best version I've ever seen. And don't get me wrong, I love that movie that the critics panned and nobody else liked. I love the Daredevil movie. I love the Elektra movie. But this is killing it. It's amazing.
I think this was interesting too because this one felt like he was all devil, no law, right? Like, so we spent the entire time with
very
him.
vigilante.
And you've already spoken about how her, Claire, and their relationship set up well. I kind of really liked how she was discovering his powers. There wasn't like a lot of needless exposition. That's one of my favorite things about the show in general, is just how lean it is. But I loved the restraint there because that was a very easy setup to say, like, most of these shows, especially when they're introducing new characters, new backstory, new lore, they do this thing where, like, they have this exposition dump where it's two characters who clearly live in the world but are needlessly explaining the world to each other. Like, these are two people who grew up in Hell's Kitchen.
Totally.
They didn't, and so they do this thing very effortlessly where they introduce Claire and she's finding the abilities, but it's not this like, well, I can do A, B, C, and D, and then it was effortless and lean, and the show
It was
just
organic.
it keeps
it seemed
moving.
so real.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, it was violent, it was gritty. Is there anything else that, like, you walked away with? This just blew my mind.
Every single scene is so well done. Again, I'm so obsessed with the choreography and the fight choreography in this. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of eye candy to watch. I highly recommend it to anyone. And if you are squeamish, I don't care. Watch it anyway. It's so good.
It is incredibly violent for sure. But again, I think we talked about it last week a little bit. But it's realistically violent. Like if a leg's going to be broken, it's not gratuitous. But you know what? Breaking a leg really sucks. So it's getting thrown off a roof or getting like an ice pick in your ocular cavity. These aren't fun things. But yeah, I think this really sets the tone for the rest of the season.
Definitely.
We don't learn a bunch. Some new characters introduced. I don't know. Foggy and what's her name basically spent this whole episode
Karen!
getting a little drunk, getting a little flirty.
They were not.
No?
Flirting.
All right, that's what I want your opinion.
Foggy was flirting. Okay, Karen was like, no, but I loved seeing their friendship come together.
You don't think there's any sexual tension between those two? It's not a will they, won't they?
I don't think so. I think that they have decided that they're going to be firm, fast friends. And they just, in this episode, they really took care of each other because they were both going through some problems. Karen's still broken up about what happened to her in the first episode of getting beaten up and nearly killed. And Foggy's just there and he comforts her. And they get drinks together. And she's like, I don't want to go home. I can't get the blood out of my carpet. And he's like, let's not go home then. Let's go bar hopping. And I'm like, that's a good friend.
I agree.
Right there.
He was an amazing friend.
I love those two together.
So, but like, and again, I know the answer to this. So, like, I'm asking you the question, what you think, and we'll chew it up as we go. But like, do you think is it going to be a will they, won't they? And
no.
And is she into Matt?
I would say no, but then I wouldn't be surprised if later down the line it accidentally happens. That seems to happen with some people, and I can see that happening.
If it accidentally, explain accidentally.
I don't know.
When in your life has it accidentally? Let's do therapy hour.
Never to me.
Never accidentally.
I have observed it with other people.
Okay.
Where people are like, we're just friends, but we did kind of sleep together a couple times.
It's like kind of accidentally.
I fell down and it happened.
Okay.
I don't know how it works. But it's a possibility it might come to. We'll see what happens. We'll put another $5 on the table.
Well, so do you think it will be this tease, or you think that they will actually get together? Is she involved with Matt?
I'm gonna say no.
Last question: if you were her, do you like Foggy or Matt more?
Okay, well, I already have a massive crush on Matt and Daredevil anyway.
Okay.
Because I think he's great.
Yep.
But Foggy is a great character also. But I'm not.
You're not a Foggy girl.
I don't think. I don't want to make any lawyer
comments. On her
comments.
Match.com profile, it says no Foggies, all Matts. That's all, it's weird. I don't know. I'll give out the URL at the end of the show. Guys, you can find her. No Foggies need to apply. Okay.
No, I think Karen's going to keep it professional. They saved her life, so she's very grateful, and she's going to continue to work off her debt, and I think that's as far as it's going to go. I think she's going to get other love interests, and they're just going to be like protective brothers. They're going to be like, no, you stay away from our girl.
Okay.
She's out. We're going to protect her now, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see.
So it was, okay. This has been our love corner. This has been our Match.com.
Little love triangle going on there.
Again, the show's all about restraint. So it'll be, I can't wait to see, watch you react as we watch. So I can't wait to
what?
See, I know. Just that.
What? Oh, no. What? I forgot. You've seen it, all of it.
I've seen it all. I know what happens. I can't wait to see what you guys think as we go here. So continue to watch along with us. Let us know what you're thinking about each episode. And again, if you didn't enjoy episode 2, take a long, hard look in the mirror and really evaluate what you're doing with your life. But yeah, just stop watching Daredevil because I think this sets the tone for the rest of the season.
What do you know? What do you know?
All of it.
Don't make me get an ice.
All of it. We'll come back and talk about that, the episode 3 next week. And welcome to the segment that we call movie of the week. Week. Thank you. I'm glad you. I wasn't committed to it. I know. I'm glad. So last week you saw this week's version of us travel back in time. Whoa! It's selling it. They're believing it, right? That time travel is legit. Sure. So time-space continuum is totally borked because of the show. We went back in time, invited you to watch the movie Hancock, which is featured on Crackle this week. We watched it. Last week you told me, Patrick, be excited about this movie. I totally didn't believe you.
It's such a good movie.
And I genuinely enjoyed it. Yes. The Hancock was great. So normally during the show, this is a segment we'll be interacting with you guys. We want to hear, this is the book club section of the show, right? So we're going to watch a movie. You guys are going to watch it with us. We're going to come back and I'll discuss. But let's talk a little bit about Hancock this week. I had nothing. I skipped Hancock. I think this movie suffers from this crazy... It did at the time. Like, the marketing was a total miss.
It was a bit strange, but I honestly... what was the thing that put you off it?
Okay, here's what it is. Yeah. Here's what it is. So, like, I saw the scene where the commercial over and over. Like, there's a lot of people involved in this that I like, right? Like, Will Smith, Pete Berg directed it. But I saw the scene where Will Smith threw the whale. Hancock throws the whale back. It hits the boat. It knocked the shit out of the boat. And that's funny. But to me, it felt like this is a superhero movie for guys who get off of work at 5. They knock back some natty ices and hit their wife. Like, this is their type of shitty superhero show that they like. And I'm like, not interested in it. We just like literally been talking about all these really interesting like versions of the superhero verse. And like, to me, this seemed like super dumb Paul Blart Mall cop. That's what it felt like, the mall cop of like fucking superhero shows.
I am not opposed to punching you in the face.
Punch me in the face. It was made for a good show.
That scene actually with the whale throwing back, I saw it as a preview when I was watching another movie, and I was the only person in the cinema laughing, but I was laughing so hard.
It was good and it worked, and it totally worked.
It was hilarious.
But my point is that like I wasn't prepared for what this movie is. So like it felt like Paul Blart Mall Cop. And then it starts immediately with him flying to the rescue, and it's Luda, move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way. And I was like, okay, this is not, I didn't know what I was signing up for.
I was so down. I was like,
I'm on board. It was a little bit more the gritty, it was a little bit more, I don't know, realistic. Like,
there are some heartfelt moments in there. There are some moments you get really emotionally involved with the characters, and there are a couple of tear jerks. I'm not gonna lie. It was I just in love with him.
What did you love about it? Like, so because you gave me no indication going into this. You're just like, just watch. You're gonna enjoy it. Like, if for no other reason, we're gonna discuss it. But you didn't tell me why you love it so much. So what was...
my favorite thing about this movie is the character development. I think the characters are really well written and they develop really well throughout the whole story. So you stay engaged throughout the whole thing. I'm ready for another movie like this. I don't want Hancock 2. They've already done the whole story. But
they set up Hancock 2 so well.
No,
they set it up. He goes to New York. He has an eagle.
I don't want him to lose it again. No, he's so good. I want to see the same kind of story, but different, happen somewhere else in the world. I think that would be great. I would love that. I love that. Great
Miss Hollywood. I work in Hollywood. I want the same but kind of different, and then make it.
I know what I mean.
I do a really terrible Kate impression. That's the worst. No, it wasn't that good.
No, it was pretty good. So no, it's great. I love the characters. I love the way the story goes. It keeps it real. It's funny. It's heartfelt. I love this movie. I really, really do.
So it stars Will Smith, Jason Bateman,
Charlize Theron.
Which
actually I learned recently, it's not Charlize Theron, it's Charlize Throne. We're all pronouncing it completely wrong. Yep.
You show up on the show, you're mildly entertained at best, but you're also learning things. So this is what you get from Glitch TV.
Absolutely.
Please, that you're right here. Just get me,
just a little
get me in post. Jason Bateman was just being Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
perfectly cast.
Great. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Perfect for the role. Absolutely.
I think to me what was surprising was Will Smith, because he's great in everything. What did you say to me off mic? You said like he's a Hollywood god, I think.
He is a god of Hollywood. I believe that everything he touches turns to gold. He is so well loved. He is a great guy on and off screen. He is hilarious, and he can really invoke emotion in you as an actor. I love him. I think he's fantastic. I really, really do. And I think everyone in this room, I don't know what you feel like, but everyone else in this room loves Will.
I'm a fan. This room being the internet. I'm a fan. I think Will, he's fine. I think for most of his career, at least early in the career, he did this thing where it was like he was winking at the audience and just being really charming, and it works like in a way that nobody can do, right? It totally does. But that wasn't this character at all. And he played it very straight. He was very so good. Totally. He was feeling sorry for himself, and I think that's what I was ill-equipped or like ill-prepared for coming into the movie. Was I did not know that this was going to be a conversation or thematically it was about like being alone. And again, one of these things that a lot of people can identify with, or feeling special and unique in a way that isn't always conducive to like things going well.
It's like being attached to a stereotype.
Yeah.
Like, you're really good at math. It's like, yes, I am, but you really don't need to point that out. You know what I mean? It's one of those
You're
things.
just a redhead. Fine. Okay. Like I wasn't aware.
Just no soul.
Just.
That's horrible, but that's all it's like. That's what the situation is, and it's just not. It's not.
It was good.
I love you.
No, you don't. You kind of, she hates redheads.
I deal with
She's follow her on Twitter. She hates redheads. She's constantly shit talking. I don't understand. I don't know why we tolerate each other. I dug a lot about this. It was an interesting look at the psychology of a superhero and themes about feeling alone in the world. My problem fundamentally, and so I enjoyed it overall, like way pleasantly surprised. This is one of those things where like if an expectation is here and it's even anywhere above it, you're having a fantastic time. So I think the bar was set a little bit low because like I don't think public reception for this movie is very good. It's got like a 48 on like Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah, it's not, it made some money. It had a $150 million budget. It made $650 million. So critically, it wasn't a success. It did all right. But I think the bar for me was here and it did all right. I think it's a far from a perfect film. I
do know people that hate this movie.
Lots?
And I'm no longer friends with them.
No,
but
totally.
That they exist.
I'm no longer friends with your friends that don't like this movie. Like, I liked it. I think it's far from perfect. And it's one of those, and this is rare because I'm of two minds. I'm trying not to be the guy on the show that's like too critical of everything. But I'm also, because I'm,
You've got to be honest.
But I've got whatever. I've got a perception on the internet that I like liking things and I find a way to speak highly of everything. And so and this is a case of a movie that and I rarely will say this about films because I usually be like, nope, don't watch it. It's stupid. It's not worth your time. I think this is a movie that is deeply flawed that I loved.
What's its deep flaw? I'm curious.
I think the third act is a train wreck. Because tonally, it doesn't know what it is. It's hilarious, a lot of the movie.
Is that the twist when the twist comes in?
No, about the third act, about the time where, you understand that Charlize Theron has the powers, and all of a sudden, tonally, it shifts from, this kind of dark look at and funny, and it abandons all humor, and it won't any longer commit to any of that. And it's just very, it tries to scientifically explain, or mythologically explain, because I'm a scientician. It tries to explain the whole relationship, the proximity thing, right? When they're and it doesn't really flesh that out. And he's getting hit and she's getting I just won't even use words. I'll just use sound effects. Whoa. And they don't explain that well, and all of that.
I fully understand. Oh, let me help you. What part of it do you not understand? So basically, the story is that these beings are built in twos. They're meant to be together for life. And what it is they're built to be these superhuman creatures. I'm not going to say gods because that comes in later. But when they find their mate and they are together, they lose their powers so they can live a mortal life and die like everyone else. My brain just shut down. What just happened?
Yeah, so no. So I followed all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but my point was, so even if all of that's explained well, which I'm not sure that it is, but they don't commit to the tone. It's this dramatic shift. It goes from this really dark and quirky and kind of funny to this very serious, very and it's a miss. So it changes direction a little bit. It's still impossibly fun. And I liked how, and honestly, I took a weird glee in seeing a superhero beat the shit out of mortals in the hospital and he just throws those guys out the window. I really had a good time with it. I think partially the businessman in me really objected to dude branding the moon at the very end, puts that heart thing.
I was like, you're going to get sued.
I was I don't know how that's good for the brand. That's an eyesore for so many people.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that part. And if I'm honest, I think the first time I saw it, I did think it was a bit strange when it completely flip-flopped on the tone.
Totally. I mean,
once I got used to it, I was like, okay.
It's fun,
but
though.
At first, it is a bit jarring. But I will admit that.
It's an example of content that, again, I'm grateful that is on the internet for free. Crackle brought it to you with limited commercial interruptions. So we watched it, and that's going to be the continuing theme of this segment. Is again, we want to ensure that zero barrier to entry, that anybody can watch this along with us. Yep. And so I'm interested to hear what you thought about Hancock, and I'm even more excited about this week because this week our roles are reversed a little bit. This is a movie I have seen.
I have not seen
and super love. This movie this week we're watching Snatch, which is a Brad Pitt. This is a
Brad Pitt?
It is Brad Pitt. It's one of
I love a bit of Brad.
Do you?
I do.
What's your favorite Brad Pitt flick of all
I thought you
time?
were going to say what's your favorite bit of Brad Pitt.
Now that
Club.
you've
Fight
mentioned
Club.
that,
Fight
okay,
Club.
okay, I can get behind that.
Love Fight
Can we do a Fight Club episode one time? It's so id versus
Where
super
we
ego.
just fight in a
We
basement.
could fight and
Sure.
then totally, I would
Down.
cry. It would be really a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Deal.
me weeping on camera. This is not a good thing. I don't know. We're not doing that episode. I take it back. We're watching Snatch, which is an unbelievable movie. I'm excited. Have you seen the commercials? Do you know what to expect?
I have no idea.
Nothing.
No idea.
Okay.
It's one of the ones that just went straight past my radar. No clue.
You just
I
missed
heard
it.
of it. I knew people liked it, but I have no idea.
Fair enough. Well, we're going to watch it. We're going to invite you to watch it. And seriously, this is the part where this show's evolving, right? We're still kind of playing with format. We're still learning, but come back to us. Watch it with us. Let us know what you thought. If you've seen it, watch it again. Come back and let's have a dialogue. We'll be blowing up your comments, questions, concerns, criticisms.
Yeah.
Talk some shit about Snatch if you don't
Be
love
honest.
it. Or tell us the parts that you loved. But we'll be back next week and we'll be talking all things Snatch.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds gross.
Ah!
Super inappropriate. We'll be back next week talking about the movie with Brad Pitt and all his bits. Well, that's it. Episode 2 of A Glitch TV is in the books. You seem emotional. It's been a journey, is what she's getting at. We've laughed, we've cried, we've made fun of superheroes.
We have.
We get really into Hancock for some reason. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the movie next week.
Yes, I can't wait. I haven't seen it and I've heard so much about it. So this is another great excuse to be on the show as I get to learn new stuff. Along
Fair
with
enough.
you guys. It's wonderful. I love this.
So all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. Obviously, a big part of this show is the conversation. We want to hear from you. You hear this from a lot of shows, a lot of content on the internet says, hey, we want to hear from you. Join the conversation. But like,
We mean it.
Right?
That is a big part of the show. We mean it from our hearts. We want to know what you think. You're very kindly interested in what we have to say. And it's mutual. So let us know what's going on. If there are any shows that we haven't talked about,
right.
please let us know. We're interested to get involved in other things too.
No, totally. The stated point of the show is to help you find shows that are readily available for people who don't have cable television. If we're missing something and you're watching this screaming at your television or your computer screen or your phone, however you're ingesting this thing, why aren't you talking about fill in the blank? Then let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll start talking about
Absolutely.
fill in the blank. How can people get a hold of us in the
There are
event they want to
several
do
ways
that?
you can get in touch with us. You can join us on the Twitter conversation at A Glitch In. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, which I would love for you to do because we're going to build an audience here, and that's the best way for you to interact with us really is through the comment section. Please do subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook, A Glitch In, and we also have a website, aglitchin.com. So whichever tickles your fancy, I don't know why I did this at the same time, whatever tickles your fancy, join in on the conversation. We look forward to discussing with
We do
you.
a lot of fancy tickling around here. So come back. God, that's so Amber Alerty. That was really gross. But dude, come back. Join us for episode 3 in A Glitch TV, and we will see you next week. From the future and Kate from the future. Whoa! We're arriving literally from 1 week in the future and past us as we're about to tell you to watch a movie that we don't want you to watch. So what is the movie we're actually going to be watching?
We are going to watch Hancock.
We are watching
I
Hancock.
love this movie.
Do you?